I am dying. There is no sense in trying to deny that fact. I've deteriorated enough. You can only watch so much of yourself drain away before you kind of look at what's left and say, this is an empty shell. You know, I'm not tired of living. I'm tired of the disease, but I'm not tired of living. And I still enjoy it enough that I'd like to continue. But the thing is that I really can't. At this point, you know, I've got two choices. I either actually go through with it, or I say, you know what, I'm too scared right now. I don't want to do it. If I go through with it, I die, as I must at some point. If I don't go through with it, my choice is essentially to suffer and to inflict suffering on my family. And then die. Possibly in a way that is considerably more stressful and painful this way. I've got death. I've got suffering and death. Well, gee, you know, this makes a whole lot of sense to me. There are people who will look at this and say, no, suicide is wrong. God has forbidden it. You cannot play God and take your own life. Well, all right, fine, but you know what? This ventilator is playing God. If I had lived without access to technology, chances are I would be dead now. All right? When premature babies are born, they are given intensive medical treatment. Their lives are saved because doctors and nurses are playing God. They're saying, essentially, God's plan was that this person would die right now. We're thwarting that. We're playing God. You may not think it's a good reason. I may not think it's a good reason. But you know what? It's that person's life.
Unlike Craig Ewart, Betty and George Cumbias had been planning their day for many years. They had decided on cremation and had paid for a memorial bench in Stanley Park, near their Vancouver home.
Do you remember when we first came here and we looked and there was nothing?
Yes.
And we said how nice it would be if we could buy a bench. It's a beautiful place. I mean, everybody who's come to see the bench always says that we chose very well. But then we usually do.
Well, I chose the place, not you.
Okay, you chose the place.
Huh?
But the next step in the plan for their deaths would require a long journey and a radical challenge to even the most liberal interpretation of a person's right to die. George Cumbias has been thinking about death since his first heart attack forced him to retire at age 53. Since then, he has had 3 more heart attacks, and his condition has steadily worsened.
I've said for the past 15 years, I said, when he dies, I don't want to live. Because he's everything. He's been everything from the day I met him. Before I met him, having had no parents, I had my dog, and I had a horse, and that was fine. But when I met him, he became everything.
I replaced the dog and the horse.
No, he became everything. And even though I do love my kids and I do love my grandkids, but I don't see life without him. As a rule, I'm a healthy person. I haven't had any major illnesses. I feel well. But that's not the point. If you want to terminate your life, it's your life.
If somebody has been married for 50 years and is in old age, and when this person thinks it would be better that we can die together, Why should we say no? With what reason should we say no? This should always be the decision of the individual.